disarm fighters, hold elections, democratic elections, turn over to the democratically elected government. And your mission, your mandate is done. Trudy Bryant went beyond, entered into concession agreements and obligated Liberia and the people of this country to meet us still for 25 years. You got 2 years mandate. You obligating the country for 25 years. And especially so that your mandate is specific. So, when George Weah took over in 2018, he found on a lot of entities of government having tenure. RRA, the Roberts International Airport, Maritime, Liberia Telecommunications Authority, National Lotteries, and NASCOP, the National Social Security Welfare Corporation, all these institutions, they just granted tenure on the last days of Manasseh Leaf. They just granted tenures. And so when George Weah took over, he said, people in those tenure positions with the early Johnson Sirleaf concept tie a hand from putting his quote-unquote right kind of people in those places to fight for his vision in keeping with his pro-poor agenda. The first thing he sought to do was to ask the legislature to repeal tenure from all tenurized positions with no exceptions. And some of us were just elected just around that time, and we had to fight it. Because if he said we should remove tenure from all tenurized positions on entity of governments that were established by the legislature, including the ones that were constitutionally established, it was troubling because Elections Commission is established by the Constitution. It has tenure. The legislature decided that it will be governed by tenure so that people who are there cannot feel intimidated and with political intrusions. They can work believing and knowing with confidence and courage that they're on this job and they are independent on the job because they don't serve at the pleasure of a particular president. Central Bank. The president wanted the legislature to remove tenure from Central Bank so the people at Central Bank could serve at his pleasure. The president wanted GSC, the General Auditing Commission, tenure should be removed. LACC, everywhere. So he can appoint people there at his pleasure. And we stepped up and said no. Thankfully, majority of the legislature at the time saw a reason that no. We'll remove tenure from some positions like RRA, LTA, Maritime, National Lottery, I think NASCOP, and so we kept tenure at LRA, the Liberia Revenue Authority. We maintained the tenure at the Elections Commission, at the Central Bank, at the LACC, at the GSC, the RAA, the Internal Auditing Authority, those integrity institutions. We insisted that we'll keep the tenure there and remove tenure from some of the other things that could serve at the pleasure of the president. This is the same president who, on the eve of election that he would not win, challenging for him to win. This is the same president who sending out nominations for people to go to tenure position on the eve of election that he will not win. And how can we, senators, rescue mission senators or opposition senators of like minds? How can we sit and allow that to happen? And on the eve of election, this president is sending loan agreements, financing with borrowing. He just sent $65 million borrowing agreement, loan agreement from some international development association. And what is painstaking, or what is painful, is that The president sent this loan agreement to the legislature, both chambers, on the 21st of June, that this coming Wednesday, on Thursday, the next day, on Thursday, the next day, June 22, I'm talking about they on Thursday, the House of Representatives, apart from Yekeh Kolubah, apart from Representative Yekeh Kolubah, the House of Representatives passed that loan agreement, ratified. The president sent the agreement on the 21st of June, Wednesday, last day called Wednesday. The next day, Thursday, the 22nd of June, the House of Representatives passed it. Except for Yekeh Kolubah, Representative Yekeh Kolubah of District Number 10, who stood up and said, why should we pass this loan agreement without even reading it? Without even asking questions? Why can't we let it go through the process for scrutiny? The House of Representatives passed it on Thursday. Besides Yekeh Kolubah, I know normally it's not every session that all lawmakers can attend or be present. So some lawmakers may say they were not in session. Well, some members of the House may argue that, oh, I was not in session that day. But the ones that were in session that day, not one has been heard, especially those who from the quote-unquote opposition of like minds, to say, oh, we in the House, we don't have the number, but we stood up against it and we disagree and we rely on, hopefully, the Senate with the growing number of senators of like minds to please stand up and save the country. Why am I against it? I'm against it because every little thing we borrow. We borrow 2 million to do the one. We take loan from the side, 3 million to do the one. And Samuel Tuwe and George, where they made big news out of it. But we have $20 to $27 million in road fund money that was already collected by importers. Either they are in cahoot or they are in collusion with these importers, and they don't want to collect the road fund money for these importers. Why you want to borrow $5 million to put a country in debt, future generations in debt, when money here that we can collect, but we are not collecting it because we are in cahoot with people who have the money for the country and they have it to pay, they have the ability to pay, but we are not taking the money from them because of the politics, the political collusion. So the House of Representatives disappointed us these few days. 65 million. There is another 27 million in the name. I'm reminded about Ethan and Igbo math. RDA, the institution from which the government is sourcing this loan. We need to do serious check on it. RDA, International Development Association, it could be a reliable, credible financial institution in the world. I don't know. When the document lands before us, we should in the Senate do a critical review. Whether this institution is recognized by global financial institutions, where they're taking their money from to give it to us, at what rate, interest rate will be paying, when we're supposed to be paying, and what we want to do with the money at this time. There is information of another $27 million loan that may be coming soon in the name of a portrait to develop portrait, chicken, dog farm, poultry farm. International Development Association, that the name of the group that the government coming to borrow from, and the horse passed it in 24 hours. And only Yekeh Kolubah, Representative Yekeh Kolubah, stood up amongst those who were in session in the House of Representatives. Let me repeat. The president sent that loan agreement on the 21st of June. That's on Wednesday. This gone Wednesday. The next day, on the 22nd of June, the House passed it. Those who were in session, how many of them that were in session? The only person of those that were in session in the House on Thursday that spoke against it, voted against it, and placed himself on the record was Representative Yekeh Kolubah of District Number 10. I want to say thank you, Yekeh. Representative Kolubah, I want to publicly say thank you for standing up. You didn't get the vote you wanted, but you placed yourself on the record for history, for posterity. If we take that 65 million, according to the way the loan is structured, we'll be paying that money up to 2073. 2073. Hello? I didn't say 2023. I made a mistake. 2073. 2073. What we want to do with that money at this time? So we'll be looking forward in the Senate with the number of senators of like minds. Senators of like minds doesn't mean that all of them support Joseph Boakai. The senator under the rescue mission, including other senators not part of the rescue mission, say for instance Senator Daniel Nathan as chairman of ANC, he's an opposition senator, or senator from the opposition community. He has been standing up throughout. Senator Jonathan Boakai is from ANC. He has, in fact, he helped. He's one of those who helped the light, to keep courage. And so when we say senators of like minds, we're talking about all senators who think that we should do certain things certain way, especially going into this election. Those senators who've been standing up and now being joined by senators who have had a change of heart, change of mind, the way they were, voting in need of before for the last few years. For me, I welcome them. So long as we're no more growing, for us to do the right thing, even this late day, I welcome them. Welcome everybody. So that's me, Senator Dillon, that's Senator Nyobi Kanga Lawrence, Senator Jonathan Boakai. Okay, so let me go over and call it county by county. In Monserrado County, you have Senator Dillon of Monserrado County. In Grand Bassa County, you have Senator Nyobi Kanga Lawrence, the rescue mother, and you have Senator Jonathan Kapi. And at 3, in Maryland County, you have Senator James Banning. We never had him before, right? And at 4, who voted against the new LACC Act, because the new LACC Act, it can sound like it's strong in the ear of some people. We who work on that document would know all the corners in that law is not strong. The only thing the LACC Act was missing was the direct power to prosecute. If the LACC investigates you and finds you guilty, or they indict you of bad behavior, breach of the public trust, the LACC had to wait for 90 days for the Ministry of Justice to decide whether I want to prosecute or not. So it has always been a desire of the LACC and those who really want us to fight corruption to give the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission the right power to prosecute without having to wait for or go through the Ministry of Justice. Technically, that was the only thing that was actually lacking in the LACC Act of 2008. I know that so well because I was in the Senate. I was Chief of Staff to Senator Joel Howard Taylor, and by the protocol of at the legislature, when you Chief of Staff to a senator and the senator is chair of a committee, you are secretary on that committee. You the Chief of Staff. So I was Chief of Staff to Joel Howard Taylor, and she was chairperson on the Senate Committee on Autonomous Commissions. Autonomous Commission also, has the LACC as a oversight entity under that committee that was chaired by Joel Howard Taylor. So when the LACC Act was sent to the legislature for passage or consideration, we worked on it as secretary on the committee. We worked on it. We played our role. We did our part, and we were part of the process. So I know a lot about the LACC Act even before I became senator. The key thing that was lacking in the LACC Act was the power direct power to prosecute. Direct power to prosecute without having to wait for the Justice Ministry to decide whether he wants to prosecute or not. But the new LACC Act says, oh, we get you that power. The power you want. So when you investigate people and you got evidence that they breach a public trust, oh yeah, we'll get you that power. But you get somebody teeth, but no, they can't bite. A toothless bulldog. What the new law did, it took away the power of the LACC to put a freeze, not to seize immediately, to put a freeze on the assets of someone that is suspected or is under investigation for corruption. To put a freeze on your account, to limit your access to your account, not to say you can withdraw from your account that you will not leave at all, but to put a limit on withdrawal from your account that is suspected or is linked to what they are investigating you for. The new law said no, LACC must not do it. So if LACC was investigating Dillon for suspecting or being accused of stealing $1 million, and maybe I put it in my account, or LACC can trace some place where that money is, in a bank account or someplace. The new law said no, LACC, don't go near Dillon account when you're investigating him. So while Dillon is under investigation for corruption, he can be withdrawing that money. He can be taking it from the account and putting it in a different place, hiding it, so that even when they find him guilty, they will not find the money. The new LACC Act says, no, you can't freeze people's account. If LACC accuses somebody of stealing $1 million from the public, the law wants you. The old law says you can put a freeze on that account and limit the person's assets to that account, so that after the trial, after the case, if the person is found guilty and the money in that account can be traced to the corruption act, then the government can go in there by law and recover what was stolen and deposited in that account. But the new law says, no. You'll be investigating people who you say you're investigating for corruption, but you might not go near their property. Don't put a freeze on access to their property or their account. Even if you suspect that the money they stole from government is in that account, don't touch it. Let the person have access to their account. What kind of nonsense law is that? What kind of nonsense law is that? The new law also says if LSCC is investigating you, LSCC might not say a word to the public. LSCC might not even make any public announcement. They must investigate you secretly, quietly, without any public notice. Why if LSCC is investigating you quietly, secretly, and there's a likelihood that you know you're guilty and you want to run away? How will security people know? How will other people know that a person is under investigation and they're running away for you to catch them? Prevent them from fleeing. The law sounds like it's strong and good. It's not true. It's not. That law, the new law, is not good. That is why Senator Dillon voted no on the record. That is why Senator Jonathan Borchers voted no on the record. That is why Senator Nyombli Kanga Lawrence voted no on the record. And that is why Senator Steve Zago voted no on the record. Senator Jonathan Kape was in Nigeria on ECOWAS duty. He was not in the country. I think Edwin Snow was out of the country. But the Senate got the majority of the votes from the rest of the people, of the senators. And so the LSCC law passed. And when we were protesting against it, they said, we just like to talk for the video. Because camera there. We voted no. Because I, as a member of the Judiciary Committee, we insisted that that law was not good. The only thing the 2008 LSCC Act was materially missing was the power to prosecute directly. Just go bring that act, amend that portion to remove where Justice Ministry got to decide in 90 days whether they want to prosecute or not. Just remove that part and say LSCC has the right, direct prosecution power. And send it back to the executive mansion for the president to approve it. But they went and then did everything and even altered generally the code of conduct, how the political participation aspect of the code of conduct was inserted by the legislature just because they were targeting Mills Jones, who was governor of the central bank and giving loans and apparently using government money to give loans to market women to empower them, which was not a bad thing, but then seeking political benefit out of it, political dividend for himself. Because every time he was carrying government money to the market women, they were wearing his t-shirt and giving him a petition to run because they believe he's too good to them, and maybe they thought that was his personal money. So they went and just did that code of conduct and said, if you hold tenure position and you want to run for election, you must resign 3 years to the election that you want to participate in. And if you hold pleasure position, like you serving at the pleasure of the president, or you hold other positions, director position that's not appointed by the president, but you involved with procurement and signing contracts for government, you should resign 2 years to the election if you are in the executive. That's how the code of conduct got messed up. With the Liberal Anti-Corruption Commission new act, just because the current management at the LSCC has demonstrated some robustness in going after people who they investigate and have shown to be in breach of the public trust, or they are holding culpable of being in breach of the public trust, just to get rid of the current management team over the LSCC. The legislature went and altered the whole LSCC Act to say, while we're making the new insertions in the LSCC Act, the people who are there, their time will finish in 90 days, and the president will have to reappoint new people there from 5 years to 7 years, and those who are there can reapply. We can keep changing laws because we want to target people. And so, since the president wants the people that are there now, especially the chairman and few other persons who have demonstrated some robustness